You are now listening to About That Business, hosted by Rom Wills. Rom Wills is an entrepreneur and personal coach who has helped people reach their fullest potential personally and professionally. Take it away, Rom.
Thank you, Marshall. The best way to run a personal economy. Now, what I'm going to say, it should be obvious. It should seem like common sense, right? But apparently, because so many people get in debt, it's not, right? And when I say a personal economy, it's the economy of your household. It's the of your family, wherever you live. Because, we all know about the national economy. And, we hear about trade deficits and all of that, imports, exports, and all of that. But it's applied on a micro level to yourself. And then especially if you have a family or something. But let's just say you're just a single person. You're living by yourself and everything. You have a personal economy. You have a product, and you have a product. You have a product that you're exporting, which is either your business or your labor or something. You're doing something to bring in money, right? Look, the key to running your personal economy is to operate at a surplus. The key to your personal economy is to bring in more money than you spend. Now, it seems simple, right? It seems simple. People probably listening, they probably thinking, well, Rom, that's obvious. No, it ain't. Because it seems simple, but in reality, people get in trouble because they spend more money than they actually bring in. That's why you have people in credit card debt. And the credit card companies are slick, right? They want you to be in debt because that's how they make their money. Like my credit card, I keep one credit card. Actually, I have two. One is like a store credit card just for convenience. I like getting stuff from the store, right? And then another one's a credit card. I used to spend money on it like crazy, but last couple years or so, I just paid a bill and just keep trying to build it back up. And it was funny. I remember there was a time I would always try to get a credit line increase, and this company would never give it to me, all right? And then I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever, right? I'll say, fine, then I ain't gonna spend none of y'all money. And then they bumped me up. They gave me a significant credit line increase because they realized something. It was like Christmas time is coming. I'm not spending money. And see, even now, because sometimes something will come up, I gotta, it's good for emergency, and I really keep it for my car. Some, car breakdown, some weird alternator goes out in the middle of the road or something. You need to keep some money on you, or some way you can take care of the car real quick. And honestly, that's the only thing I would recommend a credit card for anyway. If you can get a credit card, just get it just strictly for emergencies, right? But see, a lot of people don't do that. They'll pay for everything, the groceries, everything, right? And then, you actually have some financial advisors out there. I've actually seen them. They'll say, hey, you know what? You get a smaller credit card to pay off the bigger credit card, then you use your money there. And some people can work it, but it's still debt. And you're still spending more money than you're actually bringing in. So the first thing is, take care of those credit cards and everything. You want to think in terms of other than what you're spending, like the basic stuff you guys spend, like rent/mortgage, car note maybe, insurance, utilities, and food. You want to think in terms of saving any surplus money as much as possible, greatest amount of money. So you want to always, when you want to have it so that the money that you're spending is less than the money that you're bringing in. In fact, a wise person said, this economy in this country is backwards because it's not focused on savings. You want to be able to feed your savings account or any like anything related to it. You want to bring it. You want to have more money. You always want to have a certain amount of money left over at the end of the month. You want to have extra money. And see, here's the beauty of that extra money. Not only are you saving it, but if you absolutely positively have to get something, you can use that money. If something extra comes up, like stuff extra comes up, like with my son, dude's tall. I mean, got him some stuff for school and everything. Shoot, a month later, I had to get him some new stuff. I was like, wait a minute, how those pants get to be high waters? I was like, shit. I gotta like save him for the youngest son or something, or give him away. It's like, damn. But I had the money for it. I ain't had to use a credit card for it. I just be like, say, okay, let me just buy this stuff. But on the most part, you want to limit your outgo. You want to have a surplus. You want to have a surplus at the end of every month. And, it's tough to start that off at first. It might have to just be a little bit. You don't want to have to be struggling or really waiting for that paycheck. There's a lot of talk about so many people out here living paycheck to paycheck. One of the first things you want to do is at least save enough money to pay for 1 month of bills. And then 2 months of bills. And then you want to just build up on it. And you want to be disciplined about saving. You always want to pay that savings account first. In fact, many affluent people, that's one of the things they say. They'll say pay yourself first. And get in the habit of doing it. Like one of the things I did, and this is when it was tighter for me, because it was a bad situation. It was still tight, but I would pay myself anyway and put it in like a separate account. Right? And sometimes I ain't gonna lie, I would have to dip into it. Like the earlier days of doing this, I had to dip back into it that next week, and people would say, well, why would you do that? Isn't that a waste? Just leaving it in an account because you got to spend it. No, what it does is it's a habit that you develop. You develop the habit of automatically doing that click over to your savings or whatever account you're going to keep it in. Like I keep like in one of my banks, I keep stuff in an extra checking account. That's because, sometimes these banks got some weird savings things. And I'm like, nah, let me just put it in an extra account or something. I mean, I got savings accounts at other banks, but not at this particular one. I ain't like the fees or something. Sometimes that's a whole other video. But at first I did that, but then it got to the point I didn't have to dip in anymore. And I could just roll it. I could just deal with it and then, open accounts at other banks and everything, spread money out and all of that. And you want to do that. You want to do that. You want to you could probably start off by writing down your budget, like everything you're going to have to spend money on, and then figure out how much you're going to get. All right. And then, you want ultimately, even without the savings, you want the list of what's going out to be smaller than the list of what's coming, than the money coming in. That's where you want to work. That's where you start building up capital. Most businesses aren't started with getting a loan from someplace. Most businesses aren't. Most businesses are started from savings and other family members. But most people, they start a business, even franchises and stuff, they'll say, I started with my savings. So you want to do that. And plus it gives you power, it gives you freedom, and, especially if you have a lot of money. Especially if you have a lot of money in the bank, and you have what can always be a volatile job. I've been on jobs where people were very good workers, but because of some shifts in restructuring or everything, they were shown the door. In fact, on some jobs, especially in some retail areas, you can have people who've been a long time, very good employees and stuff, but because they're making too much money, somebody wants to get rid of them. So, so you always want to think in terms, you want to have that money in the bank. You don't want to be in a position where you could be caught. But just the simple mentality of bringing in more money than you actually send back out is a great thing to do. Okay? So anyway, right? Heed what I'm saying. Let's go out there and make that money.